a company called American Science and Engineering has begun selling something known as backscatter vans to law enforcement throughout the United States. And what these vans do is they have X-ray technology on them that allows the driver and the people in the van to see through houses. And they can detect human bodies, drugs, and weapons through the houses using these X-rays on the vans. Now, why is this such a big problem? Of course, it's an invasion of privacy.
Yeah, I mean, why is it a problem? It's pretty obvious why it's a problem.
Right. And now, of course, law enforcement says, don't worry, we'll only use it for good purposes. Okay, now, originally they were selling a lot to the military, and the military actually, that is a valid purpose, look into some buildings, does it have a bomb, etc. But they have now branched out to local law enforcement here in the United States.
Border control.
And are we doing do we have any Fourth Amendment issues here? Does anyone in the country care about the Fourth Amendment anymore? So, but they're like, and they're just...
let's go right from 3 to 5.
Yeah. Apparently the Fourth Amendment was the least relevant amendment. We just didn't see that coming. Anyway, so they're like, all right, well, we'll just scan things. And they said, don't worry, sometimes it's hard to see private parts. Okay, well, I rest assured. Okay, then. Can you see people, since you can see people inside their house or inside their car or whatever, can you see them having sex? Oh, yeah. But I'm not sure I can see the kibbles and bits.
It doesn't matter whether you can see them. I don't want anybody looking into my house under any circumstances, whether I'm standing there.
Yeah, unless you have a warrant, then come right in.
Yeah, then by the way, and if you have a warrant, use the scanning technology.
Yeah, whatever it takes, but you can't just go around to people's houses and be like, oh, not a big deal. Check out their whole house. It's crazy talk. But this country, I'm serious, like we've lost our minds. There's no privacy left anymore. Nobody listens, and it's partly because Bush said, all right, I'm going to do warrantless wiretaps. I'm not going to get court orders anymore to get into your private life, and I'm going to do national security letters. And Obama said, yeah, I agree. Let's do national security letters. We can get any information we like on you. Let's do warrantless wiretapping. So when the van comes along, everybody's like, well, of course.
Well, I think part of the problem is...
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it?
It's a little creepy, too. Like, look at that.
Yeah, like who's in that van? Yeah.
You know who drives vans?
Killers, serial killers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean, you drive by a van without a window on it in the street, you know somebody's tied up in the back.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. You don't go anywhere near that.
Yeah, you get on the highway,
Every
and there's
American
like a van, it's an old van with no windows. Come on.
Right.
There's somebody back there who's been chloroformed.
These are well-known facts. These are well-established. Okay, and then you're going to take a van like that and put the thing on it. It's crazy. It's a recipe for disaster. Anything else?
You know those ads that used to do they were recent, the minivan ads where and one of them was like they'd show the minivan, the kids getting in, and the end of the ad. It was really recent. It was like mommy like. You remember those ads at all? Anybody out there? All right, well then I'm going to cut this story off.
You know what? I have a van story, real quick. So my dad, he had an old Cadillac, and when he came to the country, he loved Cadillacs, and he thought like that was like...
it's such an immigrant thing.
Right, and like if you have a Cadillac, you're living the American dream.
That's it, you've made it.
You've made it, right? So we had Cadillacs for a long time until he...
By the way, for years, that's how people felt about slaves.
Oh, Jesus. What am I going to do with Sanchez over here? Anyway, I got Sanchez to the left of me, Sanchez to the right of me. So then my dad thinks, okay, I've got, I got the Cadillac, I made it. Finally he gets to the point where he's like, these goddamn American cars, their things are going wrong. The Japanese, they make cars that are beautiful. They never break down for 20 years. I read it in Fortune magazine, okay? So he decides he's going to go in that direction. Now, he's got a wonderful old Cadillac, but he needs a van for work because, because he's always doing construction, right? And he's like, okay, we swap. Okay, my friend Boris is like, no, that Cadillac is worth like 10 times more than that broken down van. What are you doing? He's like, I need the van right away. Okay, so he just swaps them. I'm like, oh no, okay. But the reason I brought this up is that van had no windows.
Oh,
okay, it also had no air conditioning. Okay,
oh, nice.
And it also had like nothing else, right?
Right.
Anyway, whenever I had to drive that van, I was so careful because I was like, if I do anything wrong, the cops are going to pull me over because they think there's somebody tied up in the back.
Totally, yeah.
Right.
And by the way, there had been somebody tied up in the back, and if it were pulled over now, they'd like do a DNA search, and they'd found some, 37-year-old woman who'd been missing since 1978.
And then they'd come. And that's exactly the kind of thing my
Right, and
dad
they'd
would get in
arrest your
trouble
dad.
with.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, my dad would be like, "What? I didn't kidnap her. Why I kidnap lady? That's crazy."
She's not even Turkish.
Yeah. And Boris sitting in the back going, training the Cadillac in for the van.